Welcome back, everybody, to the Online Battle Podcast. I'm just here with Dee Dee this week. Dee Dee, how's it going?
Going good, going good.
I'll go ahead and start with
mom's
you.
in town.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start with your ups and downs, I guess. Who's down?
Who's down just because I don't like them right now? Dot.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just his game tactic is like confusing to me for some reason. Like I don't know what he's trying to do. And it's just all over the place.
Yeah, I would say that seems to be a consensus. Who was up for you this week?
I would say it's a hard discussion. I'm just gonna say Q. Okay. This boy.
Nigga, I said I was coming in.
I'm gonna punch you in the nose. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm back in the light. Yeah, Q. I'm gonna say Q because she managed to avoid getting put in the elimination competition, even though she had a lot of targets on her back.
This is true. This is true. Well, we'll go ahead and start with the days trying to argue with Q and Deleon. How do you think that went?
I don't even understand why it was an argument or where it even come from. Like, what was the argument? What was he even arguing about? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think he was just looking for an argument. That's what it came off as.
Something is wrong with him. Like, when he plays games, something is mentally wrong with him. Because he just does extra stuff for no reason.
He also did not want to vote in Q and Deleon together.
That's smart. That was
surprised by
smart
that?
on his. No, I wasn't surprised because that's actually smart because like if they do win, then whoever's on the other team, they're obviously going to vote for the person he's probably going to be favored of anyway. So it makes sense to not put them on the same team. At least they both have a chance of one of them getting eliminated if they're on different teams.
Were you surprised that the vote was Deleon and Dot?
I wasn't surprised for Dillian. I was kind of surprised with Dot, but then again, I'm not because he did say he would take one for the team or whatever and risk himself and throw the game, I guess. So not really.
Why do you think Dot keeps wanting to throw challenges?
I don't know. I don't know if he's like he did the same thing in like our season of Survivor. Like I guess he's trying like what I call him a try hard. Like he does too much. I guess he's trying to prove himself that he's loyal to the pack, but he doesn't seem to realize that he's at the bottom of that pack. So it's like he's doing all this for what? And it's just crazy to me.
And is he actually loyal to the pack? I mean, he's loyal to Meg, but is he really loyal to the pack?
I don't even think so because here's the thing with Dot. He complains about one thing like when it's towards him, like he was talking about something that's the last straw for him with Q doing whatever the fuck she did. I don't even know what she did that was wrong. He was something that's the last straw, but he was literally doing the same thing. Like I cannot stand I cannot stand hypocritical people. Like that's my number one pet peeve: hypocritical people. Like and it's like his third time doing it, and it's just annoying.
Well, Mike also wants Dot to throw the challenge because just in case Mike is on the other team in the challenge, which he ends up being. What's your thoughts on Mike's game right now? Just trying to.
Yeah, I like Mike actually. Surprisingly, I like Mike because he all that drama at first. He was coming for Dillian. You know I'm gonna go hard for Dillian, so he was coming for Dillian. I was like, no, we're not gonna do that. But now that I see how he's playing this stuff, like I like him because it makes sense for him to tell him to throw the game because he definitely was going to be the one that go home, be the one to get eliminated if they were to lose. So.
Why do you think Q couldn't get through to Dot that he might be on the bottom of the alliance?
Dot is naive. So that's why he thinks he's got like, I don't know, it's something with Dot. It's like those kinds of people, like they don't think for themselves and they try to be with the in crowd or something, try to prove something. I don't know what it's with, but he just doesn't realize that his ass is up next. Like probably before Mike. Like they were willing to put his name in the voting before Mike, and he doesn't even realize it. So I think he's just trying to be so loyal or whatever to Meg and them just because they have the numbers. So like even in our season, when he lost all his alliances or whatever, like he was just frantic all over the place. I don't think he can think for himself, basically.
You think it doesn't help that Dot and Meg clearly aren't over your season with Q?
It doesn't help. I don't. They need to get over that because, to be honest, it seems like everybody that was on Survival are the ones that's holding grudges. Everybody else is there for this clean slate, including Q. Everyone else is like holding grudges from other seasons, and they just need to get over it.
Now, what about your old isolation players, Treasure and Kelsey, who are just still slow to just make a real alliance with someone?
They don't know. They don't because they never played the game like that before. So they don't know how big and or important alliances are. Like we know where we are with each other and they're like cool with each other, but they're not like strategically focused. They're not like we're not big on strategy from online isolation. So I guess that's why. I'm not sure.
Where do you think Kelsey actually stands in the hierarchy? Because she has a lot of connections, but I don't. Where do you think she stands with everyone?
I think she's pretty much mutual and neutral with everyone. But then again, it's still a bad thing because somebody gonna have to go and like she's the common denominator. But as for like this past episode, I think she was in a good position. Like she's like the highest of the hierarchy, I want to say.
What about Treasure?
She would be second highest of the hierarchy. It's the same thing with her. Like they're pretty neutral and mutual with everyone. So
But is that good if they don't have any real solid alliance?
I don't think so, due to the fact that the other people are like so paranoid. I don't think it's gonna help if they don't get some type of alliance or whatever. But I don't know. Like they do need to form an alliance though, but I don't know if they're going to.
Who do you think Treasure should form an alliance with? She kind of turned down Meg, but then seemed a little more willing with Van Guy.
It should have been Meg, like, because Fan Guy, like, I don't know if she did it because Fan Guy was a bigger target than her, but I would have put Meg personally, seeing the way Meg played. But then again, they didn't see the season, so I don't know why she picked Fan Guy over Meg, to be honest.
And then on Kelsey's side, she also seems a little more willing to work with Fan Guy rather than Days because of some of the things Q has told her.
I wouldn't work with Days either if I was Kelsey because like Days, like you can tell he's very fickle, even from the beginning coming into the game. So like he was starting that argument with her, well not an argument, starting the drama with her, putting her name in it and stuff. I won't work with him either.
Should they both want to work with Fan Guy though?
See, I don't know, because Fan Guy has his alliance. That's the only thing that keeping Fan Guy from getting eliminated is this alliance and the fact that he won that competition the last time. So I personally wouldn't want to form an alliance with Fan Guy. I would see like someone else who's like under the radar or whatever, but not really under I can't even talk straight, under the radar.
So Kelsey and Treasure are kind of like thinking about putting in Mike and Q together, but then Q basically threatens the leaders that if she goes in and she wins, then the leaders are going to have to make a decision who goes. What did you think of all that?
I think it was smart on her part. I didn't know that was going to make them change their vote, but she was just completely honest with them, which is what she's been doing this whole time. So
what did you think about it being Fan Guy and Mike going in?
I thought I really thought that if if he didn't have his tremors, I didn't know he had tremors, but if he didn't have that and they would have lost, I really thought they put Mike in just in case if they would have lost, so they can have an easy like elimination. That's why they paired them together. I'm not sure.
So what were your thoughts on the challenge that DeLeon got a little screwed in because of his tremors, and then Dot basically threw it, kinda?
That is a punk. Like he didn't even play it off right. He was like, oh no, oh my god, oh my god. Like we saw you lift your hand up and go to the side. Like you're not faking
I
it.
didn't make the episode, but according to Dot, he didn't. He was going to throw it, but he actually messed up first before he really threw it, according to Dot.
I don't believe that because it looked like he did it on purpose. Because he was how
It's
you
okay
went from
with that one.
standing completely still to like, oh no, oh my gosh, you weren't even moving. You were barely breathing. Like it's not.
So Fan Guy and Mike did vote out to DeLeon, at least for now. But any other thoughts on DeLeon's elimination or the whole plan, or Q not even being voted in, even though Days wanted Q in?
I think it was just like what do they call it? What is it like a what's it called? I don't know what it's called, but it's like a crapshoot. That's what I call it. I think it was messed up for Dillian. Like it really wasn't fair, and for Dot to do that, not even realizing he's at the bottom, it's pretty wild. And Q avoiding getting put in it was very good.
Well, after all of this, we have the four, Fan Guy, Dazed, Meg, Dot, seemingly wanting to make a final four. How do you feel
That's
about
not gonna
that?
work
Why not?
because it's the arrogance for me. Like that whole group is arrogant. Like every single one of them has their own little arrogant ways, and you can't put a whole bunch of arrogant people in one group together because somebody's gonna try to be the big kahuna or whatever, and then gonna throw everything out of whack. And all of them can't be saved from competitions because isn't it going to be like one person for elimination, right?
Well, the next
Like
round's actually double
after
elimination.
or after this is going to be like I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, the thing about these big alliances, when they form, they do tend to get a little cocky, I would say.
Yeah.
So then we have Q, who decides she's going to have a conversation with herself because she's over everybody.
That was hilarious. I'm like, why is it zooming out on Q's name? Who is she with? It's like fuck everybody. I am done. I'm like, Q is my favorite player. Like I was rooting for Dillian. I was rooting for Q too, but I was rooting for Dillian just because he was soulmate. So after that, I'm like, okay, Q. Okay, she went up in my her that damn fly. I hope she didn't kill the fly though. I hope she just let him out.
Yeah, she did end up not being alone because of the damn flag, technically. Any other thoughts on that whole difference between Q being alone and then everybody else trying to make an alliance?
Everything Q said was 100% true. Like people are not realizing that the other people are actually running the game and they don't realize what place they're in. Like they're okay with being like, I don't know. I guess they're just okay with being just because they're in the in crowd, they think they're safe, but it's not going to last long. Like they're okay with being fourth place, fifth place, sixth place, and it's just dumb.
What do you think Mike needs to do? He seems to want to reach out to Q, but he's also trying to just keep the peace as long as it works for him with his season 1 people and Megan Dot, I guess.
I actually think he is doing good, but what I don't want him to do is like, you know how they're trying to eliminate everybody else outside of the alliance? I don't want him to do that because like when everybody else is gone, then guess who's next? If it's not him or Dot, like so I do feel like he should try to form an alliance with someone who's by themselves, which is Q, and that'll possibly work. But him like completely being a Dot and going with one side, it's not going to be good for him.
Well, I guess any other thoughts before we get to the battle back that I didn't touch upon that you want to talk about?
Any other thoughts? Let's see. No. Mm-mm.
Well, DeLeon goes to the bunker and he's trying to tell information to Monet and Aspen about what's been happening. But he's also giving up information to Aspen, who's clearly still working with the Survival Alliance. So, what do you think Aspen should do?
I don't think what she should do, I think she should believe him, but I don't think she's going to like really care. Like she doesn't even have to care, to be honest, because she's like number 2 after Days, and Days is like number 1 in that little alliance. Is like the captain or whatever. So I think she has nothing to worry about going back into it. So she really just do what she was planning on doing.
Were you surprised Aspen did well in the battle back?
I wasn't surprised.
And Delian also barely getting back by the skin of his teeth. What do you think Delian needs to do?
He needs to work with the other side, like either get Mike and Q and them three just work together. I think that would be a good idea, like those 3 only working together, and then you have Mike who can be like the little mole or whatever for the other side, and they can unfortunately get rid of Kelsey and Treasure, but then they'll still be outnumbered. Oh goodness. I don't know, because I don't think it's safe to pull Kelsey and Treasure into that alliance. But I do think Mike Delion, because they want to work with Fan Guy. And they're going to tell Fan Guy everything from the looks of it, what they're doing now. So I think those 3 just need to work together, and somehow Mike can try to keep them away from voting for Q or Delion, or if Q and Delion would just win challenges. Other than that, I don't know what would happen when it's 4 and 3, honestly.
Any predictions you would like to make?
I can't even predict. I usually know who's gonna win by now. Well, I usually guess who's gonna win by now, but I can't. This game is so like discombobulated, Nick, that I can't even point to where it's gonna go, because it's just so confusing. I don't think Days is gonna win. I could say that. I don't think Days, and I don't think Dot is gonna win. That's it. That's all I can predict. I can't predict nothing else.
Well, the next challenge is one of the challenges you played where you have to put the shirt over your face, and you have to be one of the first people before a certain time. There'll be 3 leaders. Who do you think might be able to do the best at that game?
I think Q, because she did it before and she messed up from her mistake, so now she can probably do it better and don't count so fast. And I don't think Dot, because Dot really didn't even take it serious the first time, so I don't think he can do it. And I think Aspen's gonna be in it, right? Aspen is a musician, so she's good with timing and everything. So I think Aspen and Q will probably do good in it.
How about a third?
Maybe Treasure, because she's really smart. So her.
So if it is those 3, we'll say you're right. If it is those 3, who do you think those 3 would nominate? If they have to nominate 2 people. I mean, I guess it kind of doesn't matter because the group though has to vote first, but
yeah, I think they would vote for. I honestly think Treasure and Aspen would try to go for Mike, and Q would get outvoted if she's working with Mike. She would get outvoted. If she's not working with Mike, I think she'll say Mike, but it wouldn't be smart for her to say Mike. But just to be on the safe side, she would say Mike. So I would think they would throw Mike in there.
Well, speaking of Mike, he is going to be joining us now. So Aspen, I think, just be too high to remember to come to these. Let me see if he ever messages me back.
Okay.
Hello, Mike. How's it going?
It's going all right.
Hi.
What's up?
How was your road trip today? Was it good?
Uneventful. I mean, I wasn't driving, so it was easy enough. I slept for a good chunk of it. Best way to pass a road trip.
Well, I invited Aspen too, but like I told Didi, I think she's usually too high to remember to come to these this podcast.
just watching you guys on the kickback thing and cracking up.
Yeah, those two like to go at it.
No, she starts with me and I rebuttal. That's right.
Well, Mike, I want to go back to the beginning of this game. And I just want to, I guess we'll first talk about that original alleged alliance that was going to start when you were in a group with Dazed, Meg, Q, and Dot.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that wasn't real?
Well, good question. So for me, it was pretty real. I mean, the reason, I mean, I tried to stick to it, and when I made promises to people, but they were promises I fully intended to keep, you know. So like there wasn't like, it wasn't like duplicitous in my mind, because I'm like, okay, here's 5 people or 4 other people. I don't want to nominate them, so I'm going to say I don't want to nominate you. Like, that's just the truth. And I get in a chat that shares a lot of the same people a little while later and say the same thing, because it's true for that group too. But Meg wasn't a big fan of that. I wasn't running around promising it to everybody. And I think for this first little bit of the game, it's important to understand that I did not set myself up for success. I have never seen the challenge to this day. Not an episode. My entire understanding of what the challenge was based on like a 2-sentence explanation from Nick. So to say I didn't know what I was getting myself into, that would be accurate.
I guess my other question is, why did you come in willing to work with Daze but anti-Fan Guy? Was it because your boyfriend doesn't like Fan Guy?
That was genuinely part of it. And well, in season 1, I had a fight with both of them at varying points. But to me, Fan Guy was much worse. He said he would punch me, whereas Dazed said nothing to the sort. And I said as much in the season as part of the reason why I was doing that. I don't know when, but I do remember saying that. And I do remember him also explicitly apologizing for that very early on when we had our first one-on-one, where we hashed out our differences. He apologized explicitly for that too. So I'm over it now. But coming into it, it was a little more upsetting to me. So beyond the fact that my boyfriend does not like Fan Guy at all, he just finds him obnoxious anytime he's on the screen. That was a big reason why, is I thought it was a little further than it should have been in season 1.
Now, I guess what went wrong in that first leaders chat with DeLeon and
So I was in this 5-person chat with the people you mentioned, and I intended to keep them safe. So when they brought up Dazed, I genuinely sat there for a while seeing if they would naturally move on, and they didn't. And it seemed really like, yeah, this is what they're going to nominate. So I intended to keep him out of it, to keep my word. So, but I can't tell them, oh, I made an alliance with these 4 people, so can we not put any of them up, please? So I just had to be like, oh, I don't want to bring up old shit, you know. So I could I have handled it better? Yes, but I didn't. So
I mean, it wasn't totally
let
all
it
you
go in.
though, but DeLeon especially did make it much worse. That's his
Yeah.
specialty.
I should have just let it go. I should have just let him go in, obviously. But I really, when I do give like an explicit word, I do my best to keep it. Didn't work out, but I tried. Can't fault me for trying.
Now, after you did vote in Fan Guy, that's when more drama started between you and Fan Guy. And we got to see some of your pettiness, Mike.
yeah, definitely. That was fun. I mean, like, it's really fun to get to just like mess with people in a way that you don't get to do in real life, within like you get to mess with them in like the context of the game. Like, oh, I don't care about you. I'm gonna read my book and turn my chair around. Like that's funny.
Oh, I wish you would have started reading the book out loud. That would have been so hilarious.
I do think that I don't want to be so obnoxious to like make it like unbearable for the viewers and the players. I try and just make it unbearable on the players.
I don't know. I think our viewers tend to like petty. It seems like
they do, but I feel like it would be really annoying to watch that. You know.
Go right ahead and do it.
Well, hindsight's 2020.
Well, after Fat Guy wins the thing against Aspen, well, I guess actually going back first, Aspen was voted in because she missed the time zone thing.
I mean,
which we'll get back to.
That was funny. When you went off on them, low key, I was like,
well,
I
very explicitly, when they were voting in Aspen, was like, I don't think this is a good precedent to set. But if that's what you guys want to do, okay.
I'm talking about the second time when they voted for you when Delia was missing.
Yeah, so I said, okay, this is what you guys want to do, that's fine. But then when people don't stick to their own like bullshit rules that I didn't like in the first place, well, I'm not holding back on that one.
Well, speaking of Aspen, she has arrived actually, nice. So I'll bring in Aspen.
So we.
What up? What up? She's not off the weed. Look at all that smoke.
Oh, y'all caught me at a bad time.
Well, Aspen, I have to tell you, don't have to tell Mike, he's not as bad as you, but no spoilers, Aspen. I know you can't hold water, so let's just talk about the first 5 episodes.
Okay, I'll try.
Well, we went back to the beginning of Mike, so let's go back to the beginning of the game for you, Aspen. What was it like coming into this game as the only winner?
Oh, obviously it was a fucking annoying. I mean, honestly, to be honest, bro, I thought nobody was gonna know, and I gotta blame Q for this one. She kind of fucked me over and spilled the beans. Mike had a little bit to do with that also.
I didn't tell anyone. Did I tell people you were a winner? I mean, unless they brought it up first. I wasn't out here painting a target on you. And that I remember.
It wasn't Days that said it?
Maybe it was Days. I can't remember if it was Mike.
If I said you were a winner, it was just a matter-of-fact statement, and I definitely wasn't trying to paint a target on you at this point.
So. Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, fuck Q, because basically, it's all Q's fault that everybody knew that I came in as a winner, and it definitely put a target on my back. I mean, from day one, I feel like everybody was like, "Yep, get her out before she does it again." So
I'm surprised these people didn't look into our season more. It was the only one that was.
I will say that it was more than just Q, because I think most people, at least half the players, already knew that you were a winner. And Meg knew also.
Yeah, I remember Meg.
But I think survival players all knew that you won your season.
That makes sense, because they probably watched it and so it was tough though, man. It was tough. I knew I was gonna have a hard time from the jump.
Why did you connect with Dot other than the marijuana connection?
I don't know. That was my people, man. He just was a cool dude, and he just, seemed like if we was out in the streets, we would just, get it on. So I just felt like he was somebody I could trust. I didn't feel like he was gonna bullshit me, I didn't know nothing about their season, so I didn't know how he played. I just felt like he was a good guy, man.
Mike, did you feel similar with that?
Dude, I loved and still love Dot. I mean, that's not a spoiler. Like, the dude's personality just pops. He's just a great guy. You cannot help but like him. And like, it's a shame he didn't quite seem to feel the same way about me. But I mean, I liked him a lot, and I see he's hilarious. He's just so easy to get along with. It's hilarious, and you see a lot of that right now, is everyone seems like he's out here loose lips sinking ships, and it yet seems like none of it's like blown up on him really.
Yeah.
So Aspen, we were just talking about you missing the time zone and getting voted in. What went wrong? Too much weed that day?
Yeah, it was definitely too much. I was trying to go get my snacks, like it was a whole bunch of bullshit. So yeah, it definitely it
I remember
definitely.
blowing up your phone like 5 times trying to get you
I
to.
know, and that is, I didn't even have my phone. It was like, it was so crazy. So yeah, I kind of knew that was gonna happen. I do gotta, I want to formally thank Mike for being a fucking real G in
Bro.
the episode after I got voted off and tried to call these people on their bullshit for not
Yeah.
sticking to their same
It was
word.
bullshit. I was against it from the outgo. I mean, this isn't like coming in preseason. Like, you're the only person from season 1 that I genuinely wanted to work with, and I didn't know who the other people were. Really, we had like what 2 episodes of isolation to go off of. So like, the only person I knew and knew that I liked was you. So
Yeah.
to see you get voted out because of that really kind of set the tone for me really early on.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. I mean, I feel like they just should have kept that same energy, man. Like, everybody was so scared of DeLeon. I just really want to like put that shit out there. Everybody was scared of him except me and Mike. We were the only people that didn't give a fuck. So
Well, I think one of the things that went wrong for Mike in that vote is that he was so vocal about being okay if he's voted in as long as he's not voted in next to Fan Guy. So I don't know. I think that hurt him during that vote as well. But
man, if you set an overriding precedent that if someone doesn't show up, they're getting voted in, you gotta stick to that.
Yeah, I feel like they should have
It
stick
was
to
some
that.
bullshit. You know, I wish there had been 2 people voted in at the first vote, because I bet you they would have sent Aspen in first.
yeah,
And then not done it, because let's face it, they just wanted to vote in Aspen. They just had an excuse, and I could read it right there. I'm like, no, you're just using an excuse here.
exactly.
So,
Exactly.
it was bullshit.
Yeah, agreed.
now, Aspen, you had a close elimination with you and Meg versus Treasure and Fan Guy.
Yeah.
What was it like watching that back? You versus Fan Guy, you know, after all of season 1, you two go into the end.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough to see how close I was and to see how basically the Godfather fucked me.
Man, that
Yeah.
crew.
I'm gonna have to watch that movie. It's just gonna forever like go down as the, you know, most embarrassing L, I think. But I mean, it was pretty close. I'm glad that, you know, it went how it did. I feel like honestly, I feel like if I had a won, people would have maybe, you know, obviously tried to get me out the next vote. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they would have wasted no time, but I think Fan Guy just winning made them think that he was up there with Mike when it came to challenges.
When you go to the bunker and you could talk to people, was your plan just to stick with survival people?
No, first my plan was to stick with Fan Guy because honestly, I wanted him to be my inside man, you know. Like, I didn't know how well I could trust Dot. We just had one conversation because Dot would have been like, I think I would have done Dot the way I did Fan Guy in my season, or Rochelle. But I just didn't really talk to him that much, so I don't know who he really playing with and stuff. And so I knew that I could about 75% trust Fan Guy and what he was saying. So I was like, honestly, that's my best bet. I didn't know that Mike wanted to work with me as much as he did, you know, and I'm glad that he did. I'm glad that me and Mike rekindled our relationship. I think that was the best thing for me. But yeah, I feel like I was definitely sad to go against my boy Fan Guy. I'm sad he took me out of all people, you know, like, yeah, fucked up.
Now, Mike, you and Van Guy did start talking after trying to apologize to each other in a way, or just, you know, just to take the heat off of you guys, I guess.
Yeah. So after I was voted in before DeLeon, you request the chats in this game. So I was disgusted by like every player in the game, besides the only person to keep their word to the precedent was Fan Guy. So I said, I don't want to talk to any of these people. And I didn't know that like the Q standalone talk to yourself was an option. But so I decided to talk to a fan guy and decided, well, I may not at this point like the guy, but hell, he was the only one who I'm not like pissed at.
Well, I'll go to you, Aspen. When Monet was voted out,
Yeah.
how did you feel about this? Her being the next one.
Oh, I felt kind of good, you know, like I'm like, okay, well, something happened, you know, like I dang, it's hard because I kind of like Monet, you know. I'm sad I missed the podcast with her. She was a very cool person. Again, seemed like somebody I would hang out with like outside of this and stuff. And so I really like Monet. I thought that we were gonna get to play together because of just our first initial reaction, you know, like I voted her to be a leader. So she was gonna have to repay me for that, you know. Just how it goes. But yeah, so I thought we were gonna have a good game. And then like honestly to find out she like kind of laid down on the sword, I guess, and was like, Treasure deserves it, you know. And I'm like, kind of unrespectable a little bit just for me personally, because it's like, I don't know, you know, like, do she deserve it more than you? But it's her choice. But I just think it was, you know, like whack how it happened. I don't know if they would have voted for Treasure though. So I mean, I'm honestly,
I think they would have voted her out anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. I think she knew that too, and she just was trying to, you know, I don't know, be Queen Monet. You know how she is.
Yeah, I actually voted her to be leader too, which was hilarious considering that not like the next day or later that night, or I don't remember the exact schedule, but I was very much regretting my decision.
Now, Mike, how did you think DeLeon threw that family feud or tried to throw that family feud?
Well, at the time, no. Watching it back, I had doubts, but I thought on it and I thought his answers weren't that terrible.
Chipotle.
I feel like
his first answers were a little rough.
Chipotle, Burger King.
He wanted to get Illinois too on the vacation. He's like, I was not gonna let that happen. But man, it was like, I don't think he actually threw it. I think he wasn't trying as hard as he would if it was his own butt on the line. I think he knew he was probably safe, but like that little bit of doubt made him not completely throw it. That would be my guess.
I guess watching it back now so far for you guys, I guess other than maybe Dot for you, Mike, is there anybody that's surprising you that you thought about differently while you were living it?
I think for me, it's Q. Q just is like, wow, I can't believe how Q is playing, especially like just seeing how stuff unfolded while I was gone. I had no idea what was going on. I only just got fan guy bullshit ass side. You know, he did the best he could, but like he didn't do it justice what was happening inside the house or whatever, you know, like so. Oh, Q, she surprised me. Meg surprised me because Meg's smart as fuck. Like she's so strategic, it's almost ridiculous.
Well, I mean, obviously, what's funny watching it back is how absolutely terrible my first impressions and initial attempts of working with people were. So I came in with a like rough game plan, which was essentially there's gonna be a bunch of new people. First of all, Aspen's the one I know that I'm gonna probably like and at least try to work with, and then new people I have to see new people who I think played a very strategic game and work with them, because I tend to do well with people who think strategically, because I play this weird mix myself of like strategy with emotion, as Fangirl will be happy to tell you. So I look and I just went off of like, you only have so much to go off of. But I picked the wrong people, it seems, because they didn't seem to care for me too much. It's kind of funny watching that back. I was surprised by how many people are trying to get in Kelsey's sphere of influence. It's like everyone is trying to work with her, and that's hilarious to me. I mean, that's impressive. When you got everyone coming to you, that's impressive gameplay. You're doing something right.
Your social game must be working.
Yeah, I will say that she surprised me too, because I'm like, in the game, I was like, Kelsey is just like so basic and so under the radar that like, I ain't trying to say that, Didi. So close your mouth. Stop acting like that. I'm just saying, like, she just was normal. Like, you know what? That's a spoiler, so never mind. Let me not say that. But
Oh my
Kelsey was
god.
just like, I didn't know that people wanted to work with her so bad. She just seemed, she was nice, you know. It's Kelsey nice, but like, I don't know if I would have been like clawing to work with her. Like, I don't think, Mike, would you consider Kelsey strategic?
I knew she was smart. I mean, she goes to, I mean, you could just tell she was very analytical. And we had our college little rivalry talk, and like, she's like, you could just tell. I always knew she was smart. I just felt like I misunderstood what her goal and the way she was playing was. I thought she was playing purposefully under the radar and trying to stay out of the crosshair and all the drama as much as possible. Part of that came from the fact that the very early fight with Days got squashed so quick, and I took note of that. But then you actually look at it, and it turns out that she's not trying to stay out of the drama. It's that every single person in the game is wanting to work with her so bad that they dare not drag her into anything. So honestly, that's pretty impressive.
Well, as we'll go to where the game stands right now before the battle back, we have the leaders being Treasure, Kelsey, and Meg. This round, Mike, I guess what were your thoughts on this round? Because you didn't want to go in, you wanted a week off. It didn't really work out, but
I always want a week off, it's like you never really, really want to be in elimination, even though I said I was willing to face down fan guides because I saw no other option. So I was just like, okay, I'm going in. Why don't I make sure I can get rid of my biggest enemy at this point? So I was just trying to maximize my benefits from that round. But any other round, I'm like, my main goal is always keeping myself safe. When I saw those leaders, I knew the odds were against me, but I tried. Obviously, the move would have been to like say, I'm going to kick it back to you guys like you did, because I thought my reputation of holding a vengeance for so long and so fiercely would be enough to make people hesitate to pick me. But apparently it wasn't threatening enough.
No, you got to say it like Q did.
I guess.
no, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to ask? Oh, me and Dee talked about it earlier, but what are your guys' thoughts on Dot continuing to want to go into eliminations to throw them?
It's so bad, man. Eventually, you would think that would end up backfiring on you. It's, I mean, this round, I appreciated it when he was like, bobbling the thing. I was like, thank God, I was not confident in my cup stacking ability whatsoever. I had like 5 minutes beforehand to like, I've never done something like that before, so it was. I'm glad. I don't think I would have won that naturally. I don't know, maybe against just Dot because Deleon really was #screwed, but I don't know, man. I would have been in trouble.
Aspen, where do you think Dot stands with people at this point in the game? Because he's kind of he talks to everybody. So
he kisses ass.
Yeah, he is. He's telling anybody what they want to hear. I mean, he almost playing the same game as he played with Didi them, just like a fucking suck up and trying to stay up under Meg, like, oh God, that's my boy. That's my boy, like you gonna see it. It's hard for me when I got a soft spot for Dot, but oh man, he is fucking tanking it, bro. Like just, I don't know. I think that he not even aware that he gonna get, like Mike said, that shit gonna catch up to you. Like He just is all over the place. He telling people everything. He just can't shut up.
Yeah, it's like he really does kind of pick a few people early on and like really works strongly with them, and it just so happens that those people, that person is Meg again, and then some people in this like big survival alliance, not me. But the thing was, of course I'm going to say working with me is a good decision because I want people to work with me always, but like I genuinely was so on my own island that when Dot pretended to be my friend, I was just like, bless you, Dot. I will do like whatever to protect you. And if he had just, followed through, you never know.
Oh, I guess what do you guys feel about this big alliance? People tend to hate big alliances, so that seems to be the consensus.
Well, for me, it's obviously, well, I don't know if you mean as a viewer or as a player, but as a player, I mean, I said it a bunch in this last episode. It's just a means to an end, I mean, I called it like a ceasefire. Like these are not people I'm going to be putting my own neck on the line for now or anytime soon. But you can play nice with the big alliance long enough until you find out how to take them down, or even let them self-destruct. I mean, it depends. At this point, I don't have a lot of agency. Obviously, my only thing I'm trying to do is keep my neck out of elimination challenges. So if this big alliance wants to eliminate everyone not in it, well, sure, let me be in with you guys. Look at me, I'm harmless. I'll be your attack dog for 2 rounds. Just give me a break.
But don't you think it'll come back to bite you though, due to the fact that you're at the bottom of the alliance?
See, I mean, well, I'm thinking at this point in the game that I kind of alluded to this it came up in the last episode, but it wasn't too developed, is that there's like 2 sides to this, and I just want to pit the sides against each other. And if I'm on the bottom of both sides, why would either side go for me in theory? You feel like you'd want to cut the head off the snake, not the tail, who's also kind of with you.
Now, Aspen, when Delion was sent to the bunker, and he tried to give you the other side of information, did you take that, or did you just still feel very team survival?
No, I took it. I took it for sure because I know that Delion is just messy and like he wasn't holding back, like being in that chat, it just honestly it felt like I wasn't even there. Sometimes I could just, just him and Monet just going back and forth, and I'm just sitting there like taking it all in. And because I'm a type that I'll just sit back and I'll listen, and because Delion, he liked to be the star of the show, and I know that, I recognize it, and so I'm gonna let him be the star and get what I need from it, because he was just spilling all the guts to Monet because obviously they super close. And so yeah, I was just gonna use it as ammunition, whether however it went. I know that I'm gonna have to use this eventually, this information that he giving me, good or bad.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I don't know where you were gonna go, but while we're talking about the bunker, are we gonna in the last the battle back challenge? I mean, good job winning that, Aspen. I played along at home, me, Mr. Scary Challenge Beast. I wouldn't have come back in the game.
Me either.
Aspen
I
killed
played
that
too.
challenge.
I got
Maybe
6.
I don't think I would have even crossed the threshold that Delion did. I mean, maybe if my head was more in it and I was way more adrenaline and focused, but I don't know, man. I wasn't even close playing along at home. That was impressive how many of those you knew.
It's that fucking adrenaline, man. It's just that like it's do or die, I literally, and then I'm like, Nick, so what? If we lose, do we go back to the bunker? And he's like, nah, that's it, so like ain't no double bunkers like in Survivor or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, I think the message that needs to be sent is don't put Aspen's back against the wall.
You would think people will learn by now.
You would think.
If there's a battle back, don't put out Aspen right away.
Right.
That's true. That's true. Maybe they'll know for next time now.
Now, without giving away spoilers, Aspen, what are your thoughts right now when you're about to go back in the game?
Oof. Well, I'm thinking like, who the fuck did what? Who, like, where am I with people? And I'm pretty sure, I can't remember, but I didn't know that Q was coming after me as hard as she was. So, like, I'm getting back in the game thinking I got a chance with everybody because I'm thinking I ain't make no bad blood. Obviously, I think I'm just too cool for school and everybody like me, and not knowing that, really these motherfuckers is after me. So that was a little bit stressful. I'm thinking I'm going to come back into everything being good. I think I'm sitting like in the middle, and yeah, it kind of blew up. Everybody kind of blew up, and Fan Guy and Mike working together, and I'm like, what the fuck, like, hey.
I wanted to, yeah, that must have been quite the moment for you. You must have been like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Mike, what is your thoughts at this point in the game?
Well, I'm very much cognizant of the fact that I'm a lone wolf. So at this point in the game, I'm seeing like this big ass group of people who don't really value me, and I'm seeing this other group of people that also don't really value me. So I'm trying to find my place where even just for a short while as a number or like a ace in the hole or anything I can do to prove that, hey, maybe we should not put him into an elimination because he'll be useful to us. That's all I'm trying to do. It's not a very advanced strategy because there's not a ton of position to maneuver from where I'm at this moment, but I'm doing what I can with what I have.
You've considered talking to Q. Do you think you and Q could pull in the fly as another number for you guys?
Man, that whole thing cracked me up so much watching it. That was hilarious. Man, I mean, the preview shows me very clearly wanting to talk to Q. And yeah, since it's in the preview, I guess it's fair game. I mean, yes, I want to talk with Q. It's pretty clear where she stands. And I like it when I know where people stand. So that's like, and she's also like, I've already got what I consider to be a working relationship with a lot of people in this big alliance. So I've decided to talk to Q, who's very much in opposition to this, and say, look, I'm not, just I'm doing my own thing, so don't come for me.
Well, I guess any final thoughts or any final questions, Dee?
Who are y'all number ones at this point?
Tough one for Mike.
Do you want to go, Aspen?
Okay. I think probably it's a tie between Fan Guy and Dot. Like, I know I got Fan Guy in my pocket, but I want to have Dot be my number one. Like, I kind of would I wanna see how that develops and see if he is gonna stay true to what he said. And because I didn't know that, Dot didn't vote with them or whatever, all the stuff that happened while I was in the bunker. So I'm just coming in thinking, oh well, he's still with the team, he doing what he say he gonna do. So at this point, yeah, probably Fan Guy and Dot.
At this point, normally I play these games with like one or two very close ride or dies that I would be willing to put my own neck on the line for a bunch. However, I never really, at this point, have not found such a thing. In season 1, they kind of got taken away from me through Dillman and Ibarca both kind of leaving the game. I mean, those were my number ones, and so here I'm at this point probably have the best opinions of Dot and ironically Fan Guy. But and I mean Aspen's just come back in, and Aspen was someone I wanted to work with in the past, but I have no idea where Aspen's head is at from however many days, and I never got pulled into the bunker to talk to you, Aspen. So
that's true.
Those are the people I'm having trust in at this point, but I would hesitate to call any of them my ride or dies, as at this point I'd probably be willing to sell out anyone.
Well, any final thoughts, Mike or Aspen, on the first 5 episodes?
Huh. No, not on the first 5. I guess I did want to ask Mike. What at this point, like what are you feeling about Dillion? Because I feel like he is probably my least favorite at this point. And don't act surprised, y'all know. So,
as a viewer, he is amazing, beautiful entertainment. Love
as
it.
a player,
As a player, well, I'm definitely not his biggest fan. Least favorite's a stretch.
who is your least favorite?
As a player, probably Dazed. I mean, his paranoia is evident to everyone who has spent a second in a chat with him at this point. And I don't like that at all, because if he's paranoid, who's he going to be the most paranoid about? Also, him screaming "shut up" at me like a few episodes ago. Still not a fan of that. That was like.
But you
That was
shut up
rough.
though. Why did you shut up when he said shut up?
I think maybe a bit of it was just surprise. Believe it or not, I can't be surprised.
I would have turned the damn laptop over. Like, who the fuck you talking to?
And I don't know. I wasn't feeling another screaming match. I mean, you can kind of
goodness.
see it at a certain point where I'm like so drained, because this is every night, which is what a lot of the time it's hard. It doesn't get captured, is it's back to back to back to back. So like even just like 6 days in, which is like all it's been really, maybe more. I think it's been more at this point, but it's just like, it's exhausting. I'm so like exhausted. If it was day 1 and he screamed at me like that, I'm probably screaming back. But I was already like mentally checked out. Checked out's not the right word, but a little exhausted.
Yeah.
So probably least favorite players Dazed. I mean, he's a fine guy and all that, but man, as a player, he is just so brutally honest, but in all the wrong ways.
Honest?
Yeah, I mean, come on. He tells Q to his face that he doesn't like her and trust her, and he does stuff like that all the time. I mean,
But he did lie.
I think overall he's pretty honest. He's just too much paranoid and too much honest about that.
I think he might believe some of his paranoia that gets too big sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't terribly mind Dillion as a player at this point. I mean, I did swear revenge on him in the very first round. In my head, and probably out loud, I said, Monet and Dillion, I'm coming for both of you. You guys are the worst. But like, I mean, before that, I was willing to. I told Dillion, if you and me want to do something and just cut out Monet, we can. But he just shot me right down. So it's good. I don't know. He's hard to deal with, hard to read, but he's very entertaining.
I would agree with that statement. That's fair.
All right. Well, then I will end it there. I want to thank you all for joining me this week. There'll be a nice too long of an episode on Tuesday, but it's a lot of drama.
Are we getting the
enjoy.
Eliminations? You're not going to cliffhanger us again?
There might be a cliffhanger. But
Oh, don't do me like that. Oh.
But I will end it there.